We have 16 months of Joe Biden, and we've seen him struggle at times. You worked under both President Obama and then President Trump. You've said in the past you were the first person to see President Trump every morning. What was that experience like? And sort of compare and contrast working with those two presidents to what you're seeing right now as a doctor out of Joe Biden.
Well, Rob, I actually worked for President Bush, Obama, and Trump, so I was at the White House for 14 years, so I have I think a better understanding than most people of what's required both mentally and physically to do that job. And I think that, I never saw any issues whatsoever with any of the three presidents I worked for. They had a lot of energy. They were able to multitask, very competent, and their cognitive abilities were sharp. I met, like I said, I met with President Trump, pretty much every day at one point or another. I'd talk to him briefly and see how things were going. And, he never demonstrated any of the kind of stuff we're seeing with Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, you look back and this guy's had a lot of issues, since he became president. It started when he started running. And I noticed it when he was candidate Joe Biden. And I started telling people, like, look, this guy's not mentally fit to be our commander in chief and our head of state. And it's just gotten worse as time goes on. But, he's made gaffes his whole career. No one denies that. You can go back. There's 40 years of tape. You can look at this. But these are a lot different. When he's confused and he shuffles around and he looks tired, he looks weak, he doesn't know where he's at or what's going on. It's just getting worse as time goes on. And I've said for a while, I've been talking about it, since, like I said, he was candidate Joe Biden, but pretty soon the Democrats are going to have to start talking about it. It's not going to be Ronny Jackson talking about it anymore. It's going to be the Democrats because in my opinion, he won't make it until the end of this term. They're going to have to figure out a way to do something with him because it's just going to continue to progress.
Congressman, let's be specific then. And to your point, I think you're right. Bernie Sanders intimated over the weekend that at age 84, he would consider running for president again in 2024. Bernie Sanders. Let's be specific. What do you think? And you're a doctor. You're uniquely qualified. You worked under three presidents in the White House. What is Joe Biden dealing with right now? What ailments might he have? What is he dealing with?
There's a lot of things that are out there. There's Parkinson's, there's Alzheimer's, there's multi-infarct dementia. I've said before, I'm not his doctor. I'm not examining him. I'm not going to make a diagnosis. But what I can say is what's obvious to the American people. He's having some type of cognitive decline, and it's related to his age. And we all see this. We all know firsthand. And Bernie Sanders is a perfect example. I mean, he seems sharp as a tack, despite the fact that he's as old as he is. And we all know people that are in their, that are close to 100 years old that seem to be sharp as a tack. And we know people that are in their early 60s that are already having cognitive issue related to getting older. And it affects different people at different times. I think that Joe Biden may have been, there may have been a window where he could have been our president and our commander in chief, but I think that window's closed now.
Yeah, maybe in 1988 when he first ran.
Yeah.
Just about 30 seconds left, Congressman. But is this sort of an open secret in Washington?
Oh, yeah. I think absolutely. People are whispering about it behind the scenes. It's just one of those things that people don't know when the hammer's going to drop, but something's going to have to be done at some point. And it's just going to be interesting to see how they try to get their way, how to work their way out of this. But yeah, it's something that we have to deal with. Our country depends on it, domestically, internationally. It's a disaster right now.
Congressman Ronny Jackson, the book is Holding the Line, a lifetime of defending democracy and American values. Congressman Ronny Jackson, good to see you. Come back and see us soon. We appreciate it.